Hi, I'm Rigger. This is You Alright. And today, we're going to continue with the journey of the Avatar. Last time, we ended up in the spirit world, met a dragon, got a mission, you know, the usual. This time, we have a mission. We gotta get to a temple in the Fire Nation tomorrow, which is probably today in the episode. So, that's gonna be an issue. Before we start though, be sure to like it if you like it, share it if you think others would like it, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and of course subscribe if you want to see more. But now, we'll see how they handle that. See you on the other side. Alright, and that was the episode. Wow, that was really great. That was a really fantastic episode. Real quick, we'll do the plot rundown. It's pretty simple, as usual, which is good. The gang have to make it to the Crescent Island where the temple to Avatar Roku is. To do that, they have to first dodge Zuko, who's directly on their tail, and then they run into a Fire Nation blockade at the border of their ocean, and they have to run that too. And then once they do, they end up at the temple. Zuko is hot on their trail, who is also being pursued by those who were at the blockade. Then, well, they get to the temple, get inside. It turns out the sages there are all in league with the Fire Lord, whereas they were once in league with the Avatar. So they attack and try to detain them. There is one, however, who still believes in the Avatar and the old ways, who helps them. They get to the top of the temple, to the door where Roku's statue is, but can't open it. They use some trickery to open it. However, Zuko and the sages are able to turn it around on them, but Aang is just able to slip through the door as the others are captured. To make things worse, the blockade then turns up at the door, so now most of the team is captured. Outside the door is a huge amount of firebenders, but Roku somehow has managed to lock the door, so Aang is safe inside for now. Aang and Roku then talk in the spirit world, and Aang learns that a comet is coming, which allows the firebenders to gain incredible strength. It's what the Fire Lord used to kickstart the war, and he will use it again at the end of the summer to basically deal the death blow. And Aang is tasked to learn the elements before then, something which should take years. After this knowledge is passed on, Avatar Roku is able to help Aang escape by destroying his own temple and possessing him for a small time. And that done, the team are able to escape. Unfortunately, Xiao Yu, the sage who helped them, was caught along with the other sages and held as prisoners, which is quite sad, and I don't know if they can rescue them. But that's the basic breakdown. Let's go into the details here, because this was really great. Opening the episode, I wanted to say that I like how seriously all talks of entering the Fire Nation are taken. Whether it's Iroh saying it, or whether it's Katara and Sokka, or all the others, even Aang himself, it's treated as a suicide mission. This is a terrible idea. Of course, Aang is trying to leave on his own, but that's not going to happen. Despite the suicide mission status, they are definitely going with him. I wanted to say that I also like how on their tail Zuko is. Like, it's not like he's a few days behind them. He is right behind them. And it's been that way for a while. And it gives you that real sense of urgency. Like, every time they leave a place, Zuko is there, like, moments later, tracking where he went. And you feel sorry for the people. There's no way they can not tell him where, Aang is going. So, you understand, putting their lives on the line. When he is chasing them, we also get a look at some Fire Nation tech. I like his telescope, but also I wanted to say, they have the catapults. They use something that stinks that they light on fire. I'm wondering, is it meant to be like fecal matter, like flame? Is that what it is, or is it like a coal-like substance, something that reeks? Anyway, they use that to try and shoot him down. Obviously, Appa can easily dodge, at least one, a single shot. But when they come up against the blockade, I was really impressed. Appa is a boss, but also the animation on this episode was fantastic. All of the chase, there was very few corners cut. We go above the clouds, below the clouds. I thought just go up as high as you can, but honestly, they have quite a lot of range on those, so it worked. And then you had the issue of them coming through the clouds, so you couldn't anticipate where they're coming from. We had mid-air cats with Sokka. We had great stuff, and everyone this episode gets a chance to be really smart, and it's really cool. So, first off, you had the blockade people saying, let him go through and we'll just follow him. They should arrest Zuko because he's banished. I do like more talk of his banishment and how serious that is. But no, let him go through because we'll follow him. I did think it was weird they didn't have, like, projectiles ready to fire the other way, because, like, you could fire off both sides of the ship, so whatever. Because they had ships going both through, it doesn't matter, anyway. But yeah, they follow him, so that's, you know, a smart move. Capture, you know, why capture one when you can capture everyone, especially with the Avatar on the loose. You have Zuko trying to be smart, where he uses the ship's smokescreen as a cover to head off on a smaller ship, trying to hide from the blockade they realized would be following them, because Iroh realized it, because he's also smart. And then, when you get to the temple, you had another instance of my boy Sokka being very smart, where he comes up with a version of fire bombs to try and fake firebending. Even though it doesn't actually work, like it doesn't succeed, it's a really good plan, and it's really smart. And it's mentioned that's something he learned from his father, which is nice. And then you have Katara being incredibly smart, where she goes, hey, that looks like we got in, so we'll pretend we did, and then wait for the others to open the door, and then get in. It's like everyone got a chance to be really smart this episode. It's really cool. I also liked how much we stacked the deck against our team. Like, everyone's in chains and locked up. Aang's locked in a room, he can't stay in there forever, and there is an ungodly amount of firebenders right outside the door, and their help is gone. Like, it's such a stacked deck, it's great. Because that, of course, sets the stage for a super impressive thing to get them out of it. How could you possibly get out of it? Oh, and don't think I didn't notice Momo being oddly smart again, where he manages to escape, and he... well, not only does he fake being inside the door, but he then escapes, and he goes and gets Appa for their eventual escape. So I do notice you still being smart, Momo. Which means that, including Momo and Appa, everyone got a chance to be really cool this episode. I remember the comet being an element that I did know about, like that was a thing. But I do think it's interesting that we have this time limit, and even Roku says, like, yeah, basically mastering all the elements takes years. You've got, like, till the end of summer. So you not only have an inexperienced avatar, and somewhat resistant avatar, but you have this ridiculous time frame, which is really, really interesting. See, if it was me, I would think that the answer is actually not that. Like, I would think if it was me planning this out, it's, oh, you have to master all these elements, or you won't be able to defeat him. But actually, along the way, you pick up friends who know these elements, and you can put them to use with you to beat him. So, rather than knowing air, earth, fire, water, like, Aang is the air, and Katara is the water, and, I don't know, Zuko's the fire, and whatever else. Like, that's how I would think it's doing it. Like, you know, you don't just need the one person, you need the team. That's how I would do it, at least, I think. And, like, I do know about the character Toph that will come later, who is an earthbender, so, like, yeah, like, I think that's my prediction for sort of how it goes. Like, he'll have to do the finishing blow, and he'll have to learn everything, but along the way, you pick up people who become masters in their own right, and then you stand together. That would be my pick, but that's just a prediction. I actually don't know how that goes. What else? Oh, I do like the misdirect of Zuko turning the tables on Aang and them. Like, oh, we have a chance, get in the thing, and then Zuko's right there. Again, that thing of he's always right on the tail. He's not a day behind them. He's sometimes like 20 minutes behind them, and yeah, he manages to turn the table on them before they jump into the vault. So that's really cool. I do like, well, I think it's interesting that Roku's like, if you need to talk to me again, he'll find a way. Which is like, yeah, this maybe wasn't actually as, necessary as it sounds like. There are other ways to do this, so this crazy mission maybe was not the best idea. But also, Roku is such a boss. Like, you know, when he takes over, like, he possesses him for the Avatar state, and everyone sees Roku, and he just, like, demolishes his own temple and blasts everyone away. It's really cool. Showing you the potential that Aang could have. And I also really wanted to say that, the one thing I had is, I know you're an old, wise man, Roku, but you're talking about how time's getting short and we need to, we don't have long left. It would really help if you talked a bit faster, dude. I pause a lot when I talk too, but, it would really help with this time limit thing if you didn't, speak at my pace. One thing I also wanted to mention is, I mentioned it up top, but I do really feel this way. The guy, Xiao Yu, who helped them with the temple, the sage who was on their side, he got captured along with all the other sages, and the general guy is just saying, all the sages, you're all guilty as far as I'm concerned, we'll take you to the Fire Lord. And I do think it's going to be impossible for them to rescue him, which, I don't know if they're going to go into it, but I really hope they do, is, like, how hard that is. The team should hurt for that. Like, this person, they might be dead, like, they might have died to help us, or they could be whatever else. Like, they're going to the Fire Lord, we can't get them back, and they did it to help us, and we owe them. like the losses it takes to actually do something like this, like the losses and hardships of doing the right thing, and that friends and allies will have to make sacrifices and you'll have to lose some of them. That's really hard and really adult concept, a really mature concept, and a really hard thing for anybody. It's one of those things that in a story like this, especially when you're writing a kid show, I think is really hard to balance. Like, how do you want everything to be nice, but you also want to teach lessons, and you want to, impart some wisdom and some life lessons, and it's confronting. And you don't want to think about, like, torture and all those things that would actually happen in real life if those, when prisoners are taken and that. So yeah, it's a one. I'm interested how they deal with it, because they didn't really cover it at the end. We had everyone flying off and just solemn music, and and we might cover it next episode. In fact, I'm hoping they do at least mention it, because it feels important. But I also want to say, yes, like I said, Appa's a beast, but I did actually wonder if we were going to get that plot point where when we get to the temple, he rolls over and goes to sleep, which is fair enough, earned. But I was wondering if he wouldn't be up to fly them away. But I'm still waiting for them to do that, where Appa gets injured or is so tired he can't help them, and then that's another way to stick them in a situation. Which is not because I want anything bad to happen to Appa. Appa's great. But I like that contingency, that their transport is a living thing and has limitations. But they do some great expression work on Appa too, so really cool stuff. Overall, this episode was really strong. I loved everyone getting these moments of intelligence. I love we got plot progression. I love we have this crazy time frame. I love that we turn the tables on our good guys quite a few times. I love that we got demonstrations of power. We got the idea that there are people even in the Fire Nation, who are siding with the Avatar, who, it's their faith, it's their lifestyle, even amongst the incredible odds and everyone else who's been forced under the Fire Lord's thumb. I think that's a really interesting element that, you can't just say all Fire Nation is evil. Like, half of them are probably either just living their normal lives and have no impact on anything, or don't agree with this, but, what can you do? It's something that came up with, occupied areas, or, a good example is also, like, in Germany during World War II, a lot of the people who just lived there, they might not be supportive of what happened, but you either can't make a difference or don't have a choice. So, that's another adult thing that we could explore. I'd be interesting to hear them talk about how they do it in this show. And, I think that's about it. So, until next time, remember that if at first your plans don't succeed, never forget you can resort to Molotov cocktails. Anyway, till next time, my name is Rigger. Hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope I did alright.